Hey guys, Anthony here, Bibles and Barbells. It is Saturday, January 30th, 2021. Today's video, I just want to take a look at the My Patriot Supply website. And the focus today is on bartering, and it talks about here in this article, in the spring of 2020, Americans found themselves unable to buy items they desperately needed due to supply chain disruption. Suddenly we were willing to trade whatever we had for toilet paper and hand sanitizer. Without realizing it, we entered into the age-old tradition of survival bartering. Bartering has existed since the beginning of time. It talks about here, going back to the Old Testament, where goods and services were exchanged for food, tea, weapons, spices, etc. In the same period, salt was another essential item that could be exchanged and was widely recognized in the Roman Empire. In fact, I did a Bible study several years ago, and I'll post it in the description box in this video, talking about the importance of salt and how more wars were fought over salt than gold. So salt, a very important bartering item. So it goes back and talks about while our economy has evolved, the practice of bartering is still used in difficult times. It talks about the Great Depression. People didn't trust banks. Blacksmith shop accepted payment in the form of potatoes. So whatever somebody is willing to take for a good or a service for you, that's the bartering item. So let's say you have junk silver. If somebody's willing to take junk silver for food or a service, whatever, then that's an acceptable bartering item. So it's ever acceptable at the time. Today, people all over the world are bartering. People have been turning to swapping and trading. I remember in Florida, when we lived down there, there was a weekly big outdoor bartering festival that went on in one of the areas in Fort Lauderdale. Okay, goes on to here to talk about Fiji had 20% population uses bartering. Start by identifying resources you have and would be willing to part with, such as household goods or heirlooms, and then consider resources you could stockpile today to barter. Gardening and medical care. Think about these items. Maybe you want to. I have a video I did a while back. I'll put also in the description box, talking about, and I laid out on my pool table some of the items that, just to give you some ideas of what you could barter. Okay, one of the items was ammunition. I don't know if I would barter ammunition unless I really trusted the people that I was bartering with ammunition. Obviously not to be used against me. AARP shares the story from a woman named Teresa from Minnesota. She recently traded home-cooked food with an organic farmers who provide advice, soil, and other materials for her garden. She got a much-needed quarantine haircut from a friend's husband in exchange for some fresh basil. So this is showing you how during this pandemic, how people were bartering. Successful bartering, according to Investopedia, must result in the satisfaction of both parties. That's what I was talking about a little earlier. This can only happen if the items bartered are realistically valued. In other words, you can't expect to trade a low-value item service for a high-value one. Okay? And it goes on to talk about that. He swapped 6 rolls of toilet paper for 5 packets. As participants in the survivalist lifestyle, we understand the importance of emergency preparedness. One way to prepare today for disaster tomorrow is to stockpile the goods, and that's the important thing, is to get extra amount of these items or bartering items, things in your community that you think will be important, and stockpile them. And here's the list here of some items. Coffee. Obviously, without coffee, lots of people will be in bad moods. See, I'm drinking coffee right now. Coffee also brings, coffee and teas or hot drinks like cocoa bring a sense of normalcy back in a bad situation. Alcohol, seeds, fresh food, medical supplies, tools, weapons. Again, be careful what you barter: weapons, knives, guns, firearms, implements, ammunition, etc. with who you're bartering that with, because obviously you don't want those items to be used against you. Again, tools, batteries. Batteries is a big one. AA, AAA, D, C. Common AA and AAA, I would say, are the most common that you would need or would be the most acceptable for trade. Water filtration, big one. When I was in Florida, I stockpiled chlorine pool shock. So one small bag of pool shock can make thousands of gallons of usable bleach solution that could be used to treat water for a community. So trading one of those bags with someone, that's a high-end item, because you're giving them the ability to process water and make bleach storage. So obviously you'd get a good return on that investment. So you just got to be careful how you store that pool shock, because it does give off a gas, but that's an example. Or the small, like life straws, Sawyer filters, those types of things, priceless in a grid down situation. Of course, cigarettes, huge. Cigars, cigarettes, matches, lighters, hygiene items, huge thing. All types of hygiene. Probably the number one thing to barter. I have a list I'll put in the description box of the 100 things that will disappear first in a grid down situation. I'll put those in the description box. But think about this today when you're putting some preps together. Think about items to barter, so items that you want to set aside to have for bartering. But let me know what you think of the video, guys. Please like and share, and feel free to comment and add your 2 cents. Anthony signing off. Stay ready.